Hi boys and girls. This is Porsche's new flagship third generation Panamera. This car's always been a massive technical tour de force, and there's plenty of it in this new model under its stylish new skin. Going on sale from now and reaching customers at the beginning of next year, the range will kick off with this Turbo E-Hybrid model and a standard Panamera 4S as well, with a Turbo S E-Hybrid and GTS model coming further on down the line. At this level, rivals are a little scarce because it's just a little bit more substantial than something like an Audi A7 or an 8 Series Grand Coupe. Instead, this car's only true rival is Mercedes' AMG GT63 SE Performance, which in the UK is the only one you can get, and that starts at over 180 grand. Still, this looks like it's going to be fun. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the fundamentals of this car, because under the skin, this is based on an updated version of the MSB platform that the previous car ran on. Now, for a sense of scale and size, that's actually the same platform that Bentley uses in the Continental GT. The body and interior are all new, and the engines and the chassis are fundamentally updated as well. But the first thing you might notice is the design, which is pretty typical with Porsche in terms of being quite evolutionary in its overall design aesthetic. This Turbo E-Hybrid model actually has plenty of bespoke design elements as well, something that Porsche is really highlighting in this new generation of cars. Things like these new center-lock 21-inch wheels and all of these grey accents, they're completely bespoke. It's even got a bespoke badge on the nose, which is monochrome for the first time.
Porsche has only announced two engine options so far, with the entry-level Panamera and Panamera 4 using a 2.9-litre twin-turbocharged V6 petrol engine, producing 348 brake horsepower. This is funneled through an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission to either the rear wheels or in the 4- and all-wheel drive system. But it's the Turbo E-Hybrid we're looking at here which has a lot more high-end hardware under the skin. You see, on top of the heavily revised 4-litre V8, which has now been tweaked to meet the stricter emissions regulations here in Europe, it's also attached to a more powerful hybrid system. Combined figures are rated at 671 brake horsepower and 930 Nm of torque, which will get it to 62 miles an hour in just 3.2 seconds and 124 miles an hour in 11.3, which is coincidentally the same time it'll demolish the quarter-mile in. The hybrid's battery is also much bigger now at 25.9 kilowatt-hours, which will give it around 50 miles of range from a full charge. This same hybrid system is also expected to be available in non-turbo and therefore non-V8 models in time, and Porsche says there's also still room above for a new Turbo SE Hybrid, which should easily crack the 700 brake horsepower mark.
There's actually been some really interesting developments when it comes to the suspension as well. Now, all Panameras now run on air suspension. The standard car uses a twin-chamber system with dual-valve dampers. Essentially, that gives a much wider bandwidth between comfort at one end and sportiness on the other. This Turbo E-Hybrid, however, uses a completely different system that still has an air spring and still has a dual-valve damper, but that damper is now individually controlled with its own hydraulic pump. Now, I've experienced this type of system before in the UK, and it does have its compromises in terms of feel, but the engineers assure me that everything is under control. Now, we'll have to see what it's like in the UK in a few months' time, but if it's anything like as good as what they say it is, it might be a total game changer. Of course, high-end chassis technology is all well and good, but really, lots of Panamera buyers are going to be more concerned about what's going on in here. And things are fantastic. The standard of quality here is so far above most of its main competitors. There's also plenty of new tech, so we've got the pretty standard touchscreen display for the center console, also a passenger display and the same HVAC system as in the new Cayenne. But we've also got this curved digital dashboard and a head-up display as well. There's also a screen in the back too. What really strikes me though is how beautifully built this is. It is so clearly a step above cars like an A7 or an 8 Series Grand Coupe, both in its build quality and the quality of the materials. This one is a pretty subtle spec in black with gold stitching, but the other thing that I've been told is how much personalization they're planning on bringing on when you can actually put this car together yourself. So what do you think then? I suppose cars like this aren't really that popular these days with their big combustion engines. I mean, everything's an EV these days. I guess you'll have to make your own mind up, but trust me when I say these things drive brilliantly well. There's only one problem. They're not planning on making a new Sport Turismo model, which has been a real cult car here in the UK and in Europe as well. It's a shame, isn't it?